Welcome back to another video, gang. I'm like, period. You know how we do it. Hi guys, welcome to yet another video. If you're a new subscriber, hi, my name is Dela Khasimia Mukhasa. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, gang. I'm like, period. Today we're talking all things exciting stuff. Actually, this idea I got it from YouTube. Actually, it's the one that gave me this idea because I was already planning my birthday trip. So I thought that let us do a budget for a big city adventure, travel budget. So I have my slides over here. So I will be going through my slides and then we'll be chit-chatting about budgeting for a trip. So one thing that you need to know is that when you're planning a trip, you need to plan in advance. So I'm planning my birthday trip. We are in October. My birthday is next year, July, and I'm already starting to plan now, right? I'm still in between places. I'm still comparing, but Brazil is one of the options. So I was like, let me use Brazil as an example because I've already done the budget for it. I know how much flights are, I know accommodation, all of those things. So let's get into traveling and how you can plan your trip. Okay, imagine exploring a vibrant neighborhood, enjoying incredible food and experiencing all the culture a big city has to offer, all without financial stress. And that's what we want, that's what we like. Sounds like a fantasy. It's not. This video is your ultimate guide to mastering your money so you can thrive, not just survive in any major city. Get ready to live your best city life on your budget, right? Let's get into it. You don't want to find yourself there's nothing that's frustrating than going on a trip and then there is that day. You know that when you're on a trip, there's that day where you're just like, I am bowling, I'm going all out, I'm buying the bottle of champagne. Ma'am, can I please have Veuve Brutes? Thank you. Can I please have oysters? Can I please have lobster? Can I please have dessert? Tiramisu, thank you. There are those times where you feel like, I believe I can fly. So you don't want, when you are at your moment in your element where I believe I can fly, then the next morning when you wake up and you look at your banking app and you're like, what the hell happened? Start texting your friend, be like, oh friend, can you please send me 100? We don't want that. We don't want that. We do not want that. We want you to be able to experience the trip and enjoy it and have a blast. So let us get into it. Let's get into how do you experience a big city without breaking the bank. This video will equip you with the exact strategy to budget for epic urban experiences. Let's get into the trip preps. First and foremost, we're gonna be starting with accommodation and flights. When it comes to your accommodation and flights, try and look at off-peak seasons where a lot of people are not going there and the weather is still great. Accommodation, you can alternate for hostel. If you're comfortable with sleeping with hundreds of people in one room, you can go for hostel. But if you're not a hostel person, you can also do Airbnb. But if you're a woman, I would not advise Airbnb unless if you are traveling. I feel like Airbnb works when you're traveling in groups. As an individual, I don't know, especially as a woman, I don't do Airbnbs if I'm traveling. I rather go for a hotel or an apartment that is under a company that I know will protect me. Yes. And transportation, you need to know like other places. I know like your European places, they would have like your city passes and public transport. Like choose, especially when it comes to accommodation, I always say that know what your priority is when it comes to accommodation. Do you want to be like, where the places that you want to check out, are they central or are they far apart from each other? So try and sleep at a place that is very central if they are very far apart from each other, or stay in a place that is near the places where you can walk to the places, you can use public transportation. I feel like if you are like scared of using public transport, you need to start getting comfortable with using it because it's going to save you a lot of money, especially if you're traveling. Because if you're going to be Ubering everywhere, other places are very, like when you Uber, it becomes very expensive, unlike you just taking a bus. And you might find that you are not so far away from the places. And I always say that when you are planning your trip, try to see how far apart are those places where you can check that, oh, this is my accommodation, this is where I'll be staying. So if I want to go to, let's say for instance, you're in Cape Town, you're in Sea Point, you want to go to Stellenbosch, maybe you want to go to a winery, you need to check an Uber. How much is it? Okay, there's a bus pass, that red bus. How much is the red bus? Which one would work for me? So you choose the one that works for you, and then you go for that one. But I've always vouched for public transport and places that you can walk to easily, right? You will see with the Brazil, because we will be doing Brazil today, you will see that the hotel that I chose, it's not that central, but what I love about it, also you need to know what you like what defines a trip for you. For me, if I'm going on a trip and that trip destination has a beach, I would want to be near the beach. I don't want to stay far from the beach. I want to be near the beach. I want to be able to walk to the beach. I want to be able to go to a restaurant, the beachfront restaurant, and be able to walk home. Or even if I'm Ubering, it's not going to be a lot of money. So it depends also on what your priority is. So you need to know what you like, basically, when it comes to a trip. Shop. And then when it comes to food, depending on which accommodation you choose, I always say that when you're choosing accommodation, this is just my opinion, choose a place that offers breakfast. Don't go for places that don't offer breakfast, because I know people be like, oh, but you can always go out and go to a cafe and just buy food there, or you can buy your own breakfast stuff and then cook it in the house. I tried that once. I traveled with somebody, then we tried we'll prepare breakfast in the house. It was a mess, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. If I'm booking somewhere, I am choosing the breakfast option. I need it to have breakfast. Or if there's a near cafe, go to that cafe and be like, we would like to have breakfast every day, Monday to Friday. I see that your breakfast is 70 rand. Is it possible for you to give us a discount so that every morning we can come and have breakfast here? That's what I'm doing. I am not going to be preparing breakfast on vacation. Maybe it's because I don't like to cook, but if you love to cook, you can cook. Sure. And then we get to the apps that you're going to be using. These are the apps that personally I vouch for, but you can do your own research and check which one you love. For me, when I book accommodation, I use bookings.com. I know that it got like a little bit of backlashes, but I always try to go for hotels, because I feel like as much as the platform is there to protect you, but I feel like also hotel is a safer bet than going on an Airbnb or going for guest house or whatever the case might be. I always say that hotel is better, especially if you're traveling solo. I feel like hotel is better. The safety, I think safety is their priority, even though we've heard scary things happening in hotels. Okay, but it's not always the time. But like, you rather be, and also read reviews about the place that you want to go to. Google the place, look at reviews, hear what other people are saying about that place, and also the area that you want to stay in. Google. You can even ask ChatGPT, which is one of the things that I use also. I use bookings.com, Google Flights. I check like how much are the flights and which airline is cheaper. And then after that, I download the airline app, or I go straight to their website and strictly book the flight directly with the airline, so that if I have problems, I'm able to go to the airline and tell them, this is what happened, please fix this. Because I remember when I went to Kenya, they cancelled my flight. Literally, they cancelled my flight. My return flights were cancelled. And I went to the office. I was like, what the heck is going on? They did fix it at the end of the day. So imagine if I went through Skyscanner. Oh my God, it was going to be a mess. TripAdvisor, I use it a lot for activities. What do I want to go to? Like, it would give you restaurants, it would give you activities. But usually what I would do is, if you're going to a place, like for me, if I'm going to Brazil, all of us, we want to go to that Christ we want to go. So I know that is one of the things that I want to experience. Which other places do I want to experience? I would ask TripAdvisor, and I also check the affordable things to do, which I will talk about on the next slide that is coming after this one. And then TripAdvisor, just to tell you the best restaurants you can find, the best activities to do, and all of those things. And then ChatGPT to just assist you on maybe if you don't understand like the accommodation address, so it can tell you how you're going to travel to other places and how the distances, and if you're going to need transportation and all of those things. But you can also use Google. Google works very well now. You can even ask Google, it's gonna help you with that. And also TikTok, you check to, especially in accommodation, things that you want to try out. You can even check what other people did when they went to that place, like where did they go? Would you love to go to those places? And other people, when they do TikToks, they would share tips, so you can take some tips from them and use them on your traveling planning or trip. I always say that like there is a way of experiencing countries or places free and low, unlocking urban experiences for less, free and low cost activities, parks, free museum days, walking tours, open air markets, and public arts. And this one, that's where the trip advisor would ask it, free things to do in it may be free things to do in Cape Town. It's gonna tell you where you can go and all of those things. And also ask maybe ChatGPT or even Google the way you'd find that maybe every Wednesday, maybe there's an art gallery that maybe you pay 100 rand. Maybe you find that on Wednesday it's free. You take advantage of those things. So you plan around those things. Sharp. And then if you're a student, use your student card discount, because there's always student card discounts, okay? Because I remember when I went to Cape Town beginning of this year for my graduation, when I went to Table Mountain, I used my student card discount. So use your student card discount, city attraction passes, buy coupons, like ask people, Google, and because there are cheaper ways of getting something. You might find that maybe going to an art gallery, maybe it's going to cost you maybe 100 rand, and then you find that if you buy it through city or you need to fill in something, it will be 80 rand. So check out those things and Google about those things. And also look at events and entertainments that are free, open markets, street festivals. If you go into a country, maybe they have festivals on those in the time where you are going. Maybe you can, or maybe if you wanna go to, let's say, Brazil, and you want to experience their culture, and there's a holiday where they explain, maybe you can plan your trip around that holiday, then you can experience the culture properly. So that. And then hey, on this one, on the ground game plan, daily budget tracking, this one I think we'll discuss it more when we talk about the budgeting, because when you're budgeting for the trip, on how are you going to divide your money, so that you know that every day this is how much I am going to be spending. And I always say that wherever you go, you need to have a day where you're like, I'm going to splurge, like this day I'm going to splurge, where you know that maybe your daily budget that you've set for yourself is going to be double that. And your rest day, there has to be a rest day. The rest day, it's where you know that today I'm going to be spending less, because maybe you're staying in a hotel that has a pool, you'll be chilling at the pool area, relaxing. And even if you're going to the beach, beach is cheap. You bring your own food. Maybe you can just buy a wrap, cold drink, and then maybe buy like a small packet of sweets, small packet of Zimba, and then maybe buy a packet of grapes. And then you just go there, take your book, chill, read your book, chill by the beach, go in the water, all those cute stuff. And then also Google the tipping etiquettes of wherever you're going and the hidden fees, because you might find that on the menu they say that a cold drink is 100 rand, but you don't know that from 100 rand you need to pay an additional 20 rand. You end up paying 120, and when you are budgeting on the 100 rand. So Google those things and look at the reviews, and also be prepared to spend more than what you budgeted, which we will be talking about. And also when you're planning a trip, emergency fund and contagious planning, and small buffer for unexpected expenses or splurges. That when you're somewhere, you're just like, you know what, I'm never gonna come back here, or I might never get this opportunity to be here, let me grab these things, and end up going over budget. So always have a little buffer when it comes to your trip. Like for me right now, I'm focused, I'm still finishing up my emergencies. So as soon as I reach my emergency fund, I start planning the trip, buying flights, booking accommodation, doing all of those things, and I start putting money into it. I'm making sure that my emergency must be more than what I have for my trip. And also on the trip, I also have to have an emergency fund, which we will go through the budget and you'll see what I am talking about. beyond the budget, maximizing your adventure experience over souvenirs. I'm not a big fan of souvenirs personally. I don't like souvenirs. I feel like they're a scam. Unless if you're going to a country and then you buy. I feel like buying an outfit or buying a perfume or buying a shoes, something that you're going to be using makes sense. But a souvenir, I'm just going to bring it here. It's going to be, I won't know where to put it. It's just going to clutter my house. And the problem is that I don't like a lot of things happening at once in my house. I really like my things to be very simple. Very easy, simple, straight to the point. So souvenirs don't work for me. That's why I find it when I go somewhere and somebody asks me, didn't you bring us souvenirs? I'm like, I don't do those things, please. Sorry. Tap inside the knowledge for authentic, often cheap experiences. Yeah, like also connect with the locals wherever you're going. Don't be too covered and be scared. Just free yourself. Don't be scared. Make sure that when you're outside, wherever you are comfortable, and you believe in your mind that whoever you're going to meet is the person you're supposed to meet, right? And I always say that you meet yourself through other people. The more you have conversation with people, the more you discover about yourself. So you'll find that somebody's waiting for you in that country or province you want to go to, and you need to have a conversation with that person so that you have a different perspective and different thinking. But also, while you're doing those things, listen to your instinct. If your instinct is telling you that do not talk to this guy, don't be forcing to talk to this guy. Don't talk. If your instinct is saying no, then just say hi, bye, leave. But if you're comfortable, you're okay, you can talk to the person. But listen to your instinct. If your instinct is, if you see something is off, it's definitely off. Okay, sharpo. And then reiterate the power of message. Big city adventures are achievable for everyone with smart planning. Call to action. Share your favorite budget city in the comment section. So if you have any budgeting things that I missed, please let us know in the comments section. So we are gonna be going through my itinerary. That is all the planning. It goes into planning a trip. I feel like planning a trip is not as big as people think it is. And also when you're planning a trip to a country, make sure that you know that are you going to need a visa? And then if you're going to need a visa, what type of visa do you need? That one, even it's easy because now we have ChatGPT. You can just ask ChatGPT. It's going to give you the answers. Even though I'm a little bit against using ChatGPT, after finding out how exactly ChatGPT works, I'm just like, no. No. But in times of emergency, you can ask. But you can even ask Google. Google's going to give you a straight answer. Sharp. And this is my itinerary, the Brazil trip itinerary from the 12th to the 17th of July, 2026. It's supposed to be 2026. So let's get into it. So I will be traveling on the 12th, on the 11th, and then I'll be arriving on the 12th. I always try to take a overnight flight, because you know what's nice about an overnight flight? You'll be arriving there in the morning. I know that people will be like, you'll be jet lagged, you'll be tired. Most of the time, I'm not tired. I'll be excited to be in that city and be like, yeah, right, let's go. And then I just want to put my bags there and then go outside and explore where you can see even the area. Yeah, so I always try to go for overnight flights so that I can arrive in the morning and then I can have time to explore the city. Just look at the local sea, walk around, and then with mine, it's going to arrive and relax and then check in at the hotel. That is the hotel that I looked for. You can walk around, go to the beach, see, have local, like when you're even the dinner and the lunches, you can just have local food if they are safe, depending on where you are. Also depends on where you are. It depends on where you are. So if you are in a country where people get sick a lot from the food, I always say that try to go for high-end foods. I don't know if there's high-end, but like hotels, try to go to hotels, well-established restaurants. If you are out of the country, you don't want to get sick in a different country, especially on your first day when you just arrived. You don't want that. You want to have the best experience. Or maybe you can go for like your McDonald's, your KFC, the restaurant that you have in your own country. You can go there and try those things. And also I heard that the alcohol in other countries, I don't know, they say they mix it with what, and that thing is dangerous for you. It even makes people blind. So if you're going to be buying alcohol, try and buy closed bottled alcohol. Do not take free shots. Try and buy like bottled alcohol. Avoid glass of wines. you can risk it, but it's very risky, you know. Try buy like the ciders that are closed. Try and buy at well-established places. Try and check the alcohol if it looks real. And maybe try and Google and see if whatever the code is, does it really exist, you know, just to be safe. And also when you're traveling, make sure that you have you buy charcoal pills. And when you are out or before you go out, have the charcoal pill, and when you come back before you sleep, drink the charcoal pill, because it takes out the poisons or toxic whatever in your body. So keep that in mind also. And then the Christ the Redeemer, basically that one is telling me that I need to buy a ticket in advance, and then explore the viewpoint of the that nature reserve, whatnot, and then afternoon and beach time. And then on my birthday is relaxing day, and then maybe I can book a massage and then book dinner at this restaurant. This is the restaurant that I got at TripAdvisor. It's really nice. They're telling me that I need to make a reservation and tell them that it's your birthday. If you're going to a restaurant and it's your birthday, tell them. Okay, my video cut because of memories and stuff. So yeah, that is the itinerary. On my birthday, I did ask, I did it on ChatGPT. I just told it where I will be staying, the days, and then I gave it all the activities that I want to do it. And I said break it down into days. And I said on my birthday, I want to rest. And I always say that when you're going on a trip, for your birthday trip, make sure you take your pictures prior to your birthday, and make sure you arrive before your birthday, like maybe the day before your birthday, so that you know you have a full day of taking your birthday pictures. Or you can just do a birthday photo shoot in your own country, and then when you go to their country, you are good with birthday pictures, beaches. Yeah, that is the itineraries, and it tells you how much everything's gonna cost. You need to reserve tables and all of those things. Sharp. And let's get into the Brazil trip budget tracker. How much budget did I plan on having? So I always say that when you're budgeting to go to a place, make sure that you have more than what the trip requires, right? Obviously you will have your emergency fund, as you know that I'm working on my emergency fund. And then when you're planning for the trip, even the trip budget needs to have at least an emergency. We don't want you in another country struggling to come back home. And also the flights, okay, I looked at the flights on Google Flights, and then after that I went directly to the airline, so it was 18,000. And then the transfer, this is a return flight, going and coming back. Sharp, I always book return flights. We don't want problems. Even if I'm going with a bus, I always book a bus to go and a bus to come, because you never know what might happen. Because life, you don't want to find yourself there. People stole your money. You don't know what to do. Hey, they even took the money for you to even come back home. You know, that's why I always say, even if the worst happens, at least you know that number one, your flight to come back and go, it's sorted. The hotel will be offering you breakfast. And I always say, even in your room, have like at least, I always try and get a loaf of bread or maybe muffins, and then get a cold drink, and then maybe 2 packets of snacks in my room. I just want to have those things in case, you know, sometimes you'll be going out and eating something, and then when you get home, you're not full, or in the middle of the night you wake up, you are hungry, so that you know that there's food there. And also buy charcoal. Let me show you the pills I'm talking about. This is the activated charcoal. When you're traveling, please have these. Please have this. We don't want you getting poisoned out there and all of those things. And even when you're out in clubs, activity, wherever, don't be drinking anything. Try to buy closed alcohol. Yeah, sharp. And then 5 nights. I always say that choose maybe to go like weekdays. Don't choose weekends. Weekdays, sometimes they are affordable. They are cheaper than weekends. But other hotels, it's the same price. Sharp. And then the activities, okay. Yeah, the flights are 18,000. This transfer, 1,000. Sometimes you see when you're booking with bookings.com, they sometimes offer you transportation to take you from the airport to wherever you're going. Sharp. Airport transfer goes with the flights, yeah, not really the transportation from the airport to where you're going. So you can check if they do have a shuttle, and you feel like the shuttle is cheaper, you can opt for the shuttle. But if they have Uber, you can just Uber from there to where you are going. Sharp. And then 5 nights. And I always say that if you're going to a country that uses Ubers, you can just buy a voucher of the Uber and then load the voucher onto your Uber app. Then you know that wherever you're Ubering, it's not going to be taking money out of your account. You already have a voucher in the app. Those are like other tricks that you can use, I guess. And then activities, this is how I broke the activities. That 2 places that I wanted to go to, 3 places actually. So the other one is a 500 and the other one is 1.5, as you can see on the screen. And then food and dining, it's 3,950. Let me tell you about the breakdown, how I did the breakdown. How I did the breakdown, it's the dinner. For my birthday dinner, I'm estimating 1,000 rand. Usually when I go out on dinner alone, I would spend, depending on the day, like a normal day, I would be spending less than 500 rand. Unless if I'm saying I am bowling, I'm going out, then I'll be spending more than 500 rand. But ideally, it's always around 500 rand sharp. So but here, because we will be in another country, I'm estimating 1,000 rand. And then for the dinner at the beach club, I'm saying 700 rand. And then other snacks and other dinners, I'm estimating 1,000 rand. Because you'll be booking a hotel, I always say choose a hotel that serves breakfast. You'll be able to take snacks there, and most of them, they offer you water, like a bottle of water. So you know that you have a bottle of water and fruits, and then you can even take muffins, 2 muffins, whatever. Then during the day you can just snack on those things, and then you don't need to be spending a lot of money buying things that you don't need. Okay, sharp. So we're estimating that maybe on average on your lunches you will spend at least 250 or less. And then on other dinners, because 2 dinners will be taken care of, and then you're going there for 5 nights, 2 out of 5, the other dinners, maybe you'll be spending right around 300, estimating sharp. And then with the beach shopping and souvenirs, I do not believe in souvenirs personally, but because you'll be going to a beach, maybe you'll need to rent a chair, and then the snacks for the beach, and then souvenirs and shopping. We're estimating 2,000 rand. But for this one, it's going to be more, because I wanted to buy myself a watch, because it's time I upgrade my watch. I wanted to buy myself a watch this year, which I was opted between 2 options, the Fossil and the Daniel Wellington. But I was just like, you know what, since I'm traveling next year, let me try and get a vintage watch there. But if it does not happen, then I will have to come back to my 2 options. But yeah, and then when you're traveling, you need to have an emergency, an extra, a buffer, where you know that if you ever go over budget on any other days, you do have 2,000 rand somewhere there. So all in all, it is 36,000 budget for Brazil. Tell me if it's realistic, and this budgeting video, did it work? Do you think it's gonna work? Did you try it out? Have you tried it out? Are you going to try it out? And what other advices and tricks that I forgot that you would like to share with us, and what do you do when you're traveling? Also, if you're traveling to another country, please also look at their regulations and stuff, and make sure that if it is visa free for you, or you're going to need visa, so that you can do the visa stuff and all of those things. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe. I love you guys so much. I will be seeing you next week. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.